Hello, my name is Ariana. For those who may not know me, I wanted to get on here and speak about something very sensitive. So, recently I found myself in a cult. Yes, you heard that right, a cult. Who would have thought I would have been in a cult? And let me tell you, at first, it wasn't a cult. It seemed as though it was so much love, fellowship. I was learning who I was. I was learning about God. I was learning about, so many biblical mysteries. But as the years passed, I started to wake up to what really was going on. For those of you who do know me and haven't seen me on here, because I've been going through a transition, I've been grieving friendships I thought that I had, grieving a spiritual leader that I thought that I had. I found myself in a cult, and God was telling me that it wasn't right. And I fought it for a while. Because, see, sometimes we get so connected to the people that we don't want to do what God is telling us. We don't want to face what He's telling us. We be in denial. It didn't start off that way, you know. It was good times, good moments. There was a time in my life where I felt such peace and I was happy with who I was. And as recent days passed, I had to come to terms with God was telling me I had to leave this ministry. This ministry has helped me bury my mom, helped me when I had financial hardships, and I thank them. I thank those who God used to help me. But I also know the Bible says be careful when it comes to gifts, because though people give charity, you don't know the true intent of their heart. Though you may think you have friends and they get you things and buy you things, you don't know their true intentions. But I do thank them. And I say this message out of love. And it's more so for anyone else who may be in a church or in a ministry and the Spirit is telling you something's not right and you're fighting that feeling because you've been there so long. You have a level of loyalty to that pastor, to that ministry, to the people. But see, our loyalty must be to God and not to man. We should never fear man, but fear God, who is able to throw us into hellfire. So I want to share about my experience. It went on to a place to where the prophet Ayil Ben Ephraim, I was a part of a ministry called One Nation, One Power, began to say he was the last prophet of God. And I believed it. I believed it. I saw him do deliverances. He spoke so much about him, about angels in his videos. Not saying those things are not true, but I know that when it comes to pride, pride comes before the fall. And if we don't check pride, it can consume us. And I witnessed it firsthand. I seen someone so humble, or who appeared to be humble, become someone so prideful. Every lesson was about him trying to prove in his records who he was. It went from him being the last prophet, to him being an angel, to him being at the right hand of Christ, to even to a point of him boldly saying to the congregation, if God's not going to speak to me, what makes you think he would speak to you? And for so many of us who had a desire to know God, we fell for it. We felt as though we had to come to him when God would tell us things. We would question that voice that God would tell us. We would question the voice of the Holy Spirit if it didn't align with what he said. I found myself there. And God was telling me, no. He said, don't seek man. Don't seek man's understanding. If you don't know it, you guys, that is a form of idolatry. God said, ask me and I will give you it. He said that he will give us the Holy Spirit who will guide us into all truthfulness. When Jesus Christ came and he left, he said, I will send you a comforter. We fail when we step outside of ourselves and put ourselves into man-made churches, man-made ministries, because we're susceptible for men to lean on their own understanding, to guide the sheep astray. All over the Bible it says, my pastors are guiding my sheep astray. Those who are meant to be leaders are guiding them astray, guiding us to hell, guiding us into idolatry, not guiding us to pushing us closer to God. Now, we'll give credit to the ministry, to God using him to show me how to love. I thank God that through the midst of this difficulty and this hardship, I learned how to love What Christ meant when he said, for those who will come to God in the end, and he will say, leave, I never knew you. What he means when he says that is, you can say you love God all day, but if you are not loving your neighbor as yourself and putting God first, you are a hypocrite. You are in vanity. That's what he meant. So many people across the world claim to love Jesus, but how are you treating your neighbor? Are you walking in charity? I'm not talking about feeding the homeless. I'm talking about in your heart posture. Are you walking in charity? Are you having kind thoughts for each other? Are you helping people? Are you encouraging people? Are you putting yourself on the back burden to help the next person elevate? Or are you so focused on yourself and your own salvation as your brothers and sisters lack? I found myself there one time, and I do not say this message out of any form of self-righteousness, because I am nothing without God. God is everything. But I found myself there too. In this ministry, it was taught to forsake the world. No, when God said leave the world, he didn't mean forsake your family. He meant that we are to forsake the customs of the world. I found myself forsaking friendships, forsaking relationships with siblings because they were quote unquote deemed wicked. I said, well, I'm the light. I can't be amongst darkness. And God was telling me, no, how can you shine your light on those in need if you have isolated yourself? I found my marriage going to turmoil because I found myself condemning my husband because he didn't meet up to the expectations that the ministry said. And I repented to the Father and to my husband. In this ministry, it was taught that to make you feel bad for pursuing careers. God wants us to prosper. He wants us to keep him at the head of everything, right? Of course. But he doesn't want us out here poor and having our hand out. Even in Proverbs, it says, look at the ants. They are wise. They go gather their food, right? He don't want us out here poor. And I found myself believing these things. And when I look back at them, I say, how could I have fallen into this? And some of you may say, how is it possible? It is very possible. That's why I'm on here sharing it.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Rakwah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wahathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on this video. I know I cut it off. If you want to see the whole thing, you can go check it out. I'm going to leave the link in the description, as always. But the thing here is, she said a lot, and it is, I don't know who she was with. I don't, let me see, hold on.
Hello, my name is Ariana. For those who may not know me, I wanted to get on here and speak about something very sensitive. So, recently I found myself in a cult. Yes, you heard that right, a cult. Who would have thought I would have been in a cult? And let me tell you, at first, it wasn't a cult.
Alright, so yeah, basically, she was, I don't think she said she was a part of the Israelites or something like that. I think the brother has more information on that because he actually has her TikTok and whatever. But, well, I mean, I could, but I'm just not going to. Anyway, because my lesson is a bit more generic rather than focused on her specifically, and that's the thing about, people in general. You can sometimes experience certain things, see certain things, or whatever, but at the end of the day, the most critical thing to remember is, are number one, are you following the truth, and number two, is, are you doing it because of you're because you're pleasing someone else, or are you doing it because this is what you actually believe? Slakia about that. That's basically what I was trying to say. But let me get this. Romans 14 verse 5. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. And, that's basically the thing where for us we need to be able to determine that, okay, you know what, I see all these different things, Slakia. I see all these different things. These people are telling me and showing me all these different stuff. It sounds plausible. It sounds reasonable. So you know what? I'm gonna follow it. I'm gonna become a Israelite. I'm gonna become a Christian. Become a Muslim. Become join this whatever cult or whatever stuff like that. These different the stuff here is that people are in subjection to basically whatever the Lord guides them to. All right. And some people, for some people, maybe maybe being in a cult is their calling. Maybe their calling is returning unto Yahawadah. Maybe their calling is to be a Christian, Muslim, whatever. All right. There's so many different things, and at the end of the day, it is Yahawadah that allows whoever to for whoever to be in whatever lot they're in. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 11, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Now let me also get this. Matthew 24:24, for there shall arise false Mashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So the elect are incapable of being deceived. They're going to be able to. The Lord's going to make it so that, okay, well, let me keep this brother or sister away from this type of stuff and stuff like that. Where other people, the Lord's going to let the non-elect, I think that's the best all-encompassing thing, which is heathens and 2/3, all right, be deceived by whatever fad is out there and stuff like that. All right. So as a result of that, this is where it is just up to what the Lord put for each person's calling. If the Lord put for your calling to be, you get deceived and you are led astray into being in a cult, an actual cult or whatever the frick, then that's just your thing. All right. So that's the first thing I want to get into, and I think it's very, I don't know what the term is, but I think it's very appropriate, I guess, if we want to use that term, that people think that, oh yeah, I love being with these people, because she was saying how she had financial help, the people actually were nice to her and all that stuff, but then it was just a matter of like, is this the actual truth? Like, this guy is talking in a blasphemous way that just makes me like, I don't think I can agree with this type of stuff. And this is the type of things that we have to actually be aware of. You have to actually watch out for this stuff. Let me get this. 1 John chapter 4 verse 1, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Yahweh, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Now let me also get this. What was it? It was Luke 6 verse 34. And if ye lend to them of whom ye hope to receive, what thank have ye? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much again. All right. So the lesson here, the parallel here, is how, well, you are helping someone that's wicked. Of course, you're gonna get. Oh, no. Let me correct myself. You're helping someone that has money, and then you're saying that, okay, well, I expect this rich person to help me out. All right. Even as you do that, you might not always get a reward for helping them out. But sometimes, yes, you do, because if you are a constant source of, if that person, if that sinner, if that wicked person wants to keep you in their circle or whatever, then of course they're going to say, okay, you know what, let me reward them so that they stay in in my good graces and whatnot. But as soon as I don't need them anymore, well, then that's it. All right, and that's basically the lesson. But when it comes to YAHAWASHI, when you do good for the sake of YAHAWASHI, you are absolutely going to get not just rewarded but protection from YAHAWASHI. That protection is unrivaled compared to any protection you could get. You can have someone that's the richest person. Oh, I have all these security and all this stuff like that. Well, why is it that you're putting all your trust in man rather than putting your trust in YAHAWASHI? All right, YAHAWASHI. All right. So as a result of that, that's why we see like, okay, is this person speaking as a prophet, as an oracle of YAHAWASHI, or are they speaking wickedly? All right. So as a result of that, that's where you have this type of mindset where people think that, okay, well, this seems good. Like they're helping me out. They're doing all this different type of stuff. And, that's the thing where it's not always clear. All right. But when it comes to, well, no, actually that's false. Let me correct myself. It is clear when the person is actually, doing as the scriptures say. And are you able, and you just need to like actually research and say, okay, what did YAHAWASHI say would be an example of the prophet and stuff like that. And she's over here, basically pointing out a lot of the stuff that was wrong with whomever she was following. So she was like, of course, like I just can't follow this guy because he's not. Yes, I might be benefiting from being here, but I can't in good consciousness follow after someone that blatantly goes against YAHAWASHI. And again, like this is the main thing that we have to look out for. Like, are we actually serving YAHAWASHI? Are we actually associating with people that are followers of YAHAWASHI, or are we being wicked? Are we, being led astray? All right. So let's continue on. Proverbs 30 verse 8, or remove far from me vanity and lies, and give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Slakia. And that's the thing where we're not going to. Well, actually, let's read the next verse. Verse 9: Lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of the Lord of the name. Take the name. Let me start over. Proverbs 30 verse 9: Lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. Over here, so it's like, yeah, you don't want to be poor, but at the same time, the Lord doesn't want you to prosper, because oftentimes, all right, when we prosper, we forget YAHAWASHI. We forget that, okay, well, we had this money, we had this, we had that, or whatever, and then it's just like, well, what about doing what needs to be done? Your number one priority, in which a lot of people often do, it is to work your job. Like your job basically takes precedence over everything. But we need to be able to make the sacrifice of, okay, yeah, we're doing our jobs and whatnot, but at the same time we can't be slacking off on doing what YAHAWASHI needs. Okay, as the scriptures say, let me get this. Second Timothy chapter 4 verse 2: Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Okay, so we have to be in season and out of season. We have to always need to do what needs to be done. We always have to do what needs to be done. We can't be saying, okay, well, I'm gonna take a vacation. You don't get no vacation days when it comes to YAHAWASHI. All right. even and I'll give you an example, because what happened with me one time, I had to drive a good distance away from my home, and during that time it was like a 2+ hour drive. All right, but during that time I said, okay, you know what, while I'm out here, let me go and do a video. And so that's the thing that I did. I made an effort to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go do a video, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that. I basically, I found a way. I did something. All right. It was unconventional, sure, but and you know what? Hell, the video is literally on my channel. Let me get that. Oh, you know what? I bet I won't be able to find it. Yeah, it's gonna take so long for me to find it because it's been a long ass time. Wait, is this it? Oh no, no, that's not it. It's not it. Yeah, okay. So let's keep on going. Because I think it is a good example. All right, but basically what happened was, I found a spot and I thought, okay, you know what? Since I'm here, let me, make good use of this time. Let me do a lesson, and that's really what you have to do sometimes. Make make the best out of a situation. All right. You don't need to always um have things don't always have to be, quote unquote perfect, but at times it it is it's okay, to do certain things or whatever type shit. Let me see. I think I passed it. But yeah, give me one moment. Yahawadah. Is this it? No, this is not it. Yeah, it's not it. Bear with me one moment. Is it? No. Oh, here it is. This is it. All right. Yeah, so basically what happened here was, as I was in a place, far from really far from from where I normally preach. I just thought, okay, you know what, let me just take this spot. There were a lot of people, a lot of cars. I think I had a conversation here with someone, all right, about this. Okay, I don't remember all of it, but I definitely do remember like some stuff was going on. But that's basically the thing where sometimes the Lord sets stuff up for things to be a certain way. All right. Next, Luke. No. So yeah, basically it's just as the situation demand, you could just do certain stuff. All right. Matthew chapter 5 verse 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. All right. So that's the thing where she was talking about how the guy was starting to get more and more proud, and for us we have to be humble. And the meek obviously means humble, but basically it's like for us, we have to be able to humble down and lower ourselves for our brothers, sisters, YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, whatever. All right, we have to be able to be humble because being proud, thinking that we're all that is not what's going to save us. That's not going to save us. As a matter of fact, to further prove that, all right, John chapter 13 verse 8, Peter saith unto let's just John 13, 8 and 5, Slakia. After that he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded with. So Yahawadah, being the master, being the superior, all right, he humbled himself down and washed the feet of his servants, all right. So that's a beautiful lesson of humility, where he's showing us that even he, not needing to humble himself down, but he's showing us that even me, as I am in the position that I'm at, I humble myself down. And you have to understand, like, are people going to, is your average person actually willing to not just wash the feet of your friend or your or not your friend, your child, your parents or whatever, but basically your actual brother or someone that you were teaching? All right, are you able to say, okay, well, this is my student, I'm more knowledgeable in them, I have no more breakdowns and all that stuff, but I'm still gonna wash their feet, and I'm gonna what's it called, I'm gonna service them, all right, rather than just ordering them around, bossing them around, whatnot. All right, like that. It's something that you humble yourself down, you lower yourself. All right, that's a powerful lesson, a powerful thing. All right, to that Yahawashi, all right, who's going to rule the earth. All right, when he returns, he humbled himself down and washed his disciples' feet, his servants' feet. All right, like that's beautiful. Anyway, and again, that's why we also need to be able to humble ourselves down. All right, and it's not just it's not just washing someone's feet, it's the actual act of lowering yourself down to someone else's level or even lower. All right, in an authoritative fashion of, you basically get the point, like, in a sense of, like, I'm trying to think, like, you can be corrected by someone that might know less than you, basically. All right. So 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 2, be the flock of Yahweh which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint but willingly, not for filthy lucre but of a ready mind. Okay, so we have to also, when we're teaching, when we're trying to, bring the sheep to return to Yahawadah, they have to be willing to do it. Okay, you can't just force it on people. All right, and that's the thing, where if you feel like this is just not for you, this truth is not for you, that's why I said that everyone has their lot. So it might be your lot to return to Yahawadah, but it also might be your lot to be an atheist or whatever, and that's fine. Okay, it's the Lord's decision. The Lord didn't choose you. The Lord chose you, whatever. All right. So continuing on, finally, with this, Hebrews 6 verse 4, for it is impossible for those who were once enlightened. You know what? This is not really relevant. But yeah, with that, I pray that this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Shem, Yahawashi, Shem, Raquah, Quadash, double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, above all, and Shalom.